Hey everyone, and welcome back to Valheim. Today I want to take some time to share with you how I start my game. So the plan is to play this game from the moment I spawn in until we beat Eikthyr. And I want to combine that and make that my beginner's guide. So I'm going to try to share as many of my tips and tricks as possible. This is purely my approach to playing Valheim. There might be different techniques and approaches, and I'm sure you will read a lot of them in the comments. So we start with a new game. I'm going to start with creating a new character. And here it doesn't really matter. Your character creation does not affect at all how the game is played. So you don't need to bother about this. I'm just going to create a quick character. Going to go for this kind of beard. Let's go for completely blonde. And we're going to call him a Beeblebum. There we go. Done. Now this is done. We can say start, and we can say start a new game. We're going to go in here, new game. And in here we can also name the world so we easily recognize and find it back. So I'm going to call this Beeblebum World. There we go. And below here there is a whole seed. This is a random seed that will generate your world. If you want to change that, you can change that seed. You can even look up how it will look on a website. I can share it in the description. Honestly, I do like the surprise of spawning into a fresh world without knowing what actually is to expect it. So we're just going to start this and just click done. That's now going to add that world to here. We can select world if you want to. Now, if you wish to, you can change the world modifiers. If you click on here, you can see there's a world modifier selection. And here you can choose to make this harder for you or easy for you, or even hammer mode, which means it's easy to just build without having to get resources. And here you can also change it, customize it more detailed. You can remove combat or make it easy, death penalty, resource rate, portals, and so on. Rate means that if you have a base with a certain amount of structures and you are in that base, you have a chance of triggering a raid from the followers of the upcoming boss. This slider controls the amount of them. We're going to keep this on the normal mode, we're going to keep it on regular mode, and we're just going to start the game. Now, this is going to load your game up. This will take some time to generate this world, and then it automatically is going to jump into the intro scene. While this is all happening, let me plug my channel a bit and let you know that if you want to learn more about Valheim and how to play it, then you should definitely check out the guides on my channel. Now, in the comments, you might find some suggestions by other players, and while most of them mean well, you should always double check with active players or content creators, as some of the people that comment have not been playing Valheim for over a year, and many things have changed in the meantime. So the first thing we're going to be doing when we are landing, we're going to start gathering resources. That's going to be the main aim. I'm going to try to explain everything what I'm doing. Hopefully I don't get sidetracked again. This game has a lot of squirrel moments. I did record this already like 3 or 4 times, and every time I get distracted and start building something or doing something that is actually not intended to be used during this guide. So let's focus and let's see if we can get this guide done properly. Just that you know, it is possible to skip the intro if you don't want to see it. You can actually press your menu button, and then if you press escape, you can see there is actually an option here that says skip intro. So that's possible if you want to do that. Now, I do like to keep it going because that path that the Valkyrie is now taking, landing you, is going to show up on your map, which is very handy if you want to kind of already start seeing what is happening outside of that boundary. Oh, that's Eikthyr. That's nice. That's really close. Perfect. All right. So, to begin with, let's look at the hut. So let me pause this for a second, and let's have a look at the hut. Let's start with the top left corner and go clockwise around the screen. On the top left, you will see the torch right there. This is where your hotkeys will be. On the PC, you will be able to press numbers to activate these. On the console, you will have a little bit more hassle with that. Later, I can put my weapons in there and other tools I want to use. On the right side now, on the top right side, you will be able to see there your map and also the status you are in. For the moment, I am wet because I just came in through a storm. But there you will also see if you're sheltered, if you're under a fire, and if you're resting, things like that. Next to it, you can see a little frame. That is the mini-map. This mini-map is showing you the location where you are. Now, if you're playing on hardcore mode, that map will not be there. Then let's go to the bottom left. You can see the 3 slots is where your food will go. The health bar shows you how much health you have. The more you eat, the higher your health will become. And in the middle, there should be a stamina bar, which should show you how much stamina you have left. When you are playing this game anew, then there will be a raven stopping here. It's going to drop either on this rock or on the Eikthyr. I'm not entirely sure anymore which one it is. It will give you guiding and tips and tricks on how to play the game. If you don't want this to happen, you can actually go to your settings, go to your miscellaneous, and in the bottom here you can see enable raven hints. If you disable that, then the raven won't show up anymore on your screen, doesn't bother you anymore. You can just simply play the game. But as a new player, this might be handy to keep alive. So the first thing we want to do after we landed is pick up the branches and the stones, and that is automatically going to show you in the top left screen there that you are starting to learn building parts. It's actually not learning, it's more like remembering, but by picking things up, you recognize parts and you start remembering what they are used for. So the aim is to start picking up stone, wood, and things like that. We also want to start picking up food. You will find bushes like this, the raspberries behind the stone here. You also will find mushrooms behind this stone right here. Now, these you want to pick up, because eating them will give you health and stamina. Now, do not destroy these bushes, because the berries respawn. Mushrooms you cannot destroy, so they will always respawn at the same location after a few days, endgame days. Now, let me open the tab. We can see we have some food right now. I got the berries and the mushrooms. If I eat these, you will see that this and this will be added to the slots down here. That means we can eat 3 parts of food to fill our health bar and also fill our stamina bar right here, which will show up in a second. You can see the yellow fork indicates the food is stamina focused. The white fork means balanced, and there is also a red fork which indicates health focused. There is of course the purple fork as well, which is magic, but we will not come across that today. I'm gonna eat one and eat one of that. You can now see that that has added both the stamina and now also the health is boosting up. So this is now the plan. The first thing we want to do is start collecting stone and wood. In the beginning we have these graylings in the meadows. These are not too hard, but as a beginning player this might be a little bit tougher. What you can do to make it easier is actually take out your torch. That is going to make them a little bit more afraid, which is going to stop them from attacking you. And if you hit them with it, they will actually catch fire, which is going to give them damage over time. You can see it's actually starting to burn, and you only need to hit it twice to get it actually killed. And you can see right here, this is what the graylings drop. Other mobs or creatures will drop different resources. You can see here we have this Eikthyr. This Eikthyr will point you to the direction of the first boss of the meadows. You can see if I press this, it's going to show you on the map where Eikthyr is. That's the first boss. And if we look a little bit further, you can see it's actually right there. That is the first boss stone where we have to defeat the first boss. I will talk about this later. All right, let's continue and picking up some wood. Alright, so we picked up some wood, we picked up some stone. The first thing we want to do is build ourselves a hammer. There we go. And let's kill this one again. Oh. You might also have noticed that if you look at the top of the screen, you can see that the durability of this torch is going down. That means once it's down and empty, it's going to break down and it's lost. That means also while you have the torch in hand, while it's burning, it's also losing its durability while it's burning. So if you don't need it, put it away. Now another thing I want to do, I want to move my hammer to slot 5, because that's the slot I'm normally using for building myself. You can of course adjust that depending a bit on what you are used to play or how you feel is best for you. So I'm going to chop some more trees, and while we're doing that, let's also look around and see if you can find a house. You could build yourself a stone axe, and that is something that is probably the best approach. Build yourself a stone axe, which is going to allow you to chop trees and stuff like that. I'm going to look if I can find some water nearby with hopefully flint, so I can actually build straight away the flint axe. Now, if I open my map, we can check where we flew in. And you can see we have flown over the mountains. I don't see any water here. So what are we going to do? We're going to move towards the light. You see there's like a little bit of light in the distance, and I think there's a building there as well. So let's go there. So we actually have a little house here that we could take over if we want to. Let's go inside. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to mark this on my map as a house so that I can find it back if I return to it, because I want to double check if we have water there. So we can focus first on getting that flint. Look at that. We have water. Perfect. So near the water and the meadows, you will find yourself flint. You will also find yourself enemies, different enemies like the neck, like there in the distance. But let's just pick up flint. And flint is going to allow us to build a much better quality of axe. It also will allow you to upgrade your tools later on if you have a good workbench. So let's just focus on some more flint. It's a boar. Let's leave that alone for the moment. I'm just checking. Under these stones you can find skeletal remains. These skeletal remains will allow you also to build stuff and upgrade. I see something in the distance. You see it? There's a bee. Let's go there. We definitely want a bee. So let's check that building here. There's a little bit of a tower. There should be mushrooms in there for sure. There we go. There's some mushrooms in here. This looks like a toilet, so I'm assuming that the mushrooms are growing on something less sanitary, but okay. So this is a really good start. Finding a bee at the beginning. I always am happy to find bees because I tell you, honey is life. Now, a lot of players are going to avoid this building or the bees because they are afraid of being stung and they don't have like arrows, or I don't have a spear or whatever. You don't need that. The only thing you need is 10 wood and a hammer. You take your workbench, you build your workbench nearby. And then, of course, again, I can see now, because I built a workbench, we are learning a whole new series of building blocks, which is interesting to know. And then we can now take away all of this. Now, this might be a little bit skipping ahead already because I want to talk about building in a second. If you want to destroy things, you simply take your hammer. So you take the hammer. You can take the repair or whatever, doesn't matter. I like to use repair because I just then see where I'm aiming at. And I'm going to press my middle mouse button, which is going to destroy the parts I am aiming at. And what I want to do, I want to break it in such a way so that the bee is no longer touching anything of the base. And that is going to collapse that bee on the floor. We're going to pick up some honey, and we're also going to pick up the queen bee. And the queen bee is going to allow us to build ourselves a beehive. And let's take the torch so that we can protect ourselves a little bit better. I kind of like the place we are at. We have water nearby, so that's nice. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to rebuild this a little bit. So let's just take the workbench, put it inside here. You know what? Let's put it outside. I want to clean up the terrain a bit as well. So I'm going to break the floor away. There we go. Let's pick up the wood. I might actually, you know what I need to do? Let's break the workbench and put it under the roof. It should work here, I think. So let's get the workbench here. Let's see. It works. Okay. So to make a workbench available as a crafting table, it has to be underneath a roof. It has to be underneath the roof, but it also needs to be not exposed. That means if I only would build a roof above it, it might say workbench is exposed. So make sure that it has enough, cover. Anyway, what I want to do, first of all, I want to repair my tools. I just repaired my hammer. You cannot repair your torch by clicking on this button here. Every station in the future will have this repair button and will repair the tools that are linked to that workbench. So if you have a forge in the future, that forge will fix your metal tools and stuff like that. Now, what I want to make, we want to make ourselves a flint axe right here. I'm going to craft that. You can see I need 4 wood and 6 flint. There we go. That goes in slot 1. I'm going to keep it there. That's my main weapon slot. So I'm going to use it both for weapons and for chopping wood. Another one I want to make is the hoe. I need 5 wood and 2 stone. I'm going to move that one in number 6. Now I'm going to break the workbench. I'm going to take my axe and we're going to break this bed here. You have 2 attacks. One attack is the simple attack, so the swing attack. And you have the secondary attack, which is the middle mouse button. That one is going to swing downwards. And that is going to allow me to break this bed away. Now let's take the hoe. I'm going to select this one here, which is level ground. This is raise ground. This is paddon. I don't know how you would say that. Level ground. And I'm going to level the terrain here inside the house so we don't have the grass. Now leveling works standardly by just where you're standing, where I am standing currently, and I'm aiming there. It's going to level the terrain in the same level as where I am standing. Now there is way more finesse and detail you can do with this. There is much more you can do with leveling terrain, and I did make a guide about that if you want to learn about it. I can drop it in the link as well. I don't want to go into depth for that in here. So I'm going to snap 2 floors in this corner. We're going to take our workbench and we're going to place that workbench here. Like that. And now we can fix everything and build our floor again. That way we don't have grass poking through. I might actually break this one because I want the fireplace as well. So I'm going to put my fireplace here. Missing requirement. Alright, it's time to stop chopping wood. So I'm going to take my axe. We're going to start chopping wood. Let's start with these tree trunks here. Now, you might have noticed these yellow halos around my head now and then. And that is what indicates that I leveled up a skill. Each skill is simply leveled up by doing the actions. Higher skills can mean less use of stamina or being more efficient at it. We got a little boar here, and I think if it's only one... No, there's a whole bunch here. If you have not noticed that yet, there are these stones in the wild where there's like a piece of text on it. So I can show you. There's like text on it. If you find that with a whole bunch of boars around it, that is a boar stone. There will be boars spawning around that spot. It's getting dark, so we are going to be just in time to start building and sleeping. So the focus here is to, as quickly as possible, have a base of operation so we can sleep through the night. As a beginning player, you really do not want to spend your night outside. You want to make sure that you are safe and sound inside the house. Rotating is done with the mouse wheel as well. What I will do, we're gonna leave this open so that we can get our fire out of here. And let's put an X on top of that. Oh, that's terrible. Can I break this piece of roof for a second so that it snaps properly? There we go. Let's close off the roof again. Like this. I don't know what this is. Okay. Let's put a door in there so we are protected from any strangers in our house. Let's build our fire. So we already have a fire. Now, if you're building a fire, you will see that smoke is going to be generated. The smoke is going to go and hit the roof. It's going to fill your house and you will suffocate from that. So what we want to do, we want to build something that actually is guiding the smoke outside of your house. So I'm going to build a beam here. I'm going to build a roof like that. And this should be enough to get the fire outside of my house. We can, of course, close off the sides. If I have enough wood. One here. One here. There we go. Let's close off this roof as well. And then we're going to build ourselves a bed. There we go. Build my bed right next to the fire. Now, the bed is going to be used for two things. One is spawning points. If you claim a bed, it will be setting a spawning point. That means if you die, this is where you spawn. If you have a roof and a fire near the bed, it will also allow you to sleep. And the fire, of course, has to be burning. Every time you go to another location with a different bed and you claim that bed, that will be your spawn point. So the last bed you claimed is your spawn point. So let's just sleep and let's get this night over with. The station is too exposed. There we go. So let's just build another roof here. I'm gonna break you down and we're gonna snap you again. And now we're out of wood. So let's fix everything and focus on getting some more wood. What we also want to do is we want to build ourselves the beehive so we can start generating some honey. Got another visitor. What I did right now was a parry. A parry is done by blocking at the right time of attack. So if an enemy attacks you and you time your blocking right, you will parry the enemy. Now, some enemies hit much harder. So you should check your block status. And here you can see my block force is 20 and my parry bonus is 2 times. That means I have a parry of 40 while I only have a block force of 20. So this is something you should take in account. If somebody attacks me, you need to make sure that this enemy is not stronger than your block force. Alright, now that we have some wood, let's close off the roof. And now we can also fix the house. You can see here, we have this bar that shows that it's damaged. This is just because of the rain. So rain damage does exist in this game. If it's not covered by a roof, if it's not protected, it will start taking damage over time. It will never go below 50% if you have a fresh build. These, of course, are like spawned-in buildings. That means it's going to be a little bit random. Let's just repair these all. You can see building and repairing does take stamina, so you have to be a little bit aware of that. Let's build ourselves the bee. Now what I like to do is actually build my bee on a little stand, just to protect it a little bit also from attacks. If it's higher, it's better. You can actually build it like this height, but then it might be a little bit too high. What I like to do is I like to build my beehive on a pole. And a good technique, if you want to build more than one beehive, is actually building a 45-degree angle beam like that, another 45-degree beam angle like that, and then snap a new one on the bottom like this. Then you can remove these two. And this is enough distance for 2 beehives. So I can just take my beehive, place it on here, and if I find another one, we can then build the other there on the second pole. There we go. Bees are happy? Perfect. If bees are covered by a roof, or if they are too close to buildings, or if there's a tree above it, it will say bees need more open space. So you might have to play around and see what is the best location for your bees. Next thing I want to do is build myself a chest, because we do not want to drag around everything we have. So let's just put the wood and stone and the valuables in here. Let's put the resin and the flint in here, and let's keep this as our food source. Now, another thing I want to talk about is the rested bonus. You can see I'm now in the house next to fire. In the corner there on top, you can see we are resting. We are at a comfort level of 4, and that automatically results in a rested bonus from 11 minutes. Rested bonuses will help you to gain stamina quicker, will also boost your XP gain, and so on. You can boost your comfort level by building extra furniture or more items. For example, I could build myself a table or a chair. I don't know if I actually can for the moment. I don't think so, but you will kind of get what I'm talking about later on when we get to that point. All right, now that we have a workbench, now that we have a bed and a fireplace, and we can now start collecting resources and focus on that a little bit more. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to look for more flint. We're also going to chop way more trees, and on the meantime also hunt for like the neck. Let's see what you get. All right, there we go. We got a necktail. So that's meat that we can grill later on. I think there's a boar right there. That's a regular boar. So let's kill that boar as well. Now this boar should give us 1 piece of meat and a leather scrap. All that is going to give me more things to build. Another thing I want to talk about is the oak tree. As you can see, the oak tree is not possible to be chopped with the axe I have. Neither can the birch tree be chopped with that. But there are some techniques to kind of get early access to these by using other trees and roll them against it. This is actually a very nice place. It's just that you know flint does respawn as well. So if you need more and you find a good spot, it might be a good idea to mark it if you think you will need more than that. Another thing I didn't talk about is the timer. You can see the berries have 10 minutes and the honey and the mushroom has 15 minutes. That is the effect, how long it will last. Over time, when the effect drops down, time-wise, it will also drop down your health. So you have to keep an eye on that as well. Alright, now before we go and chop some trees, I'm gonna focus as well on upgrading my axe. You can see I got quite a lot of flint collected. I got some wood. So we can just first of all repair everything. And we're gonna build ourselves a upgrade. You can see the chopping block, the little star here, and on the bottom you can see workbench improvements. If I build this, this is gonna upgrade my workbench to level 2. That means that now I will get more resources to build, so I can build, for example, a flint knife or a spear, but I also will be able to upgrade my tools. So, for example, the flint axe needs 3 flint and 2 leather scraps. Now, the flint I have, leather scraps I got from the boars I killed, so I can upgrade my flint axe, and that will give me 25 damage now on slash, while the other one has 20. It also will boost the durability. As you can see, this one has 100 and this one will have 130. So that boosts that as well. So let's upgrade our axe. That means we're going to have a little bit more durability to chop trees and so on. Another thing I want to talk about is cooking. You see here the flame. I have a campfire. We can take the cooking station and we can slide it over the flame like that. We can build 2 of them left and right. It is possible to build 3 of them if you want to. That might make it a little bit harder to reach the fire if you want to add more wood to it. Like that. And then, now I can see I have 3 necktails and 3 boar meat. It will take the all the food we have and put it in there. There is no real control over what you're putting there. If you want to control what meat you're putting, you will have to put it in your slot. So you can say 1, 2, or 3. That is what I want to cook first. This is going to take some time, not that much, so don't run away. If you forget your food, if you forget your meat cooking, it will after a while turn into coal. So you want to make sure that you pick up your meat before it is burnt. So now I picked up this meat, so that is going to give us way more health. Now, what is the time of day? It is now just past midday. As you can see here, you can see the sun is up there. If you look at your compass, you can see this is the south. This should be midday. So if the sun is there, that's 12 o'clock. We're past midday. That means the sun is going down. It is possible for me to go and sleep right now. So if I want to, I can sleep without having to wait until night. And let's focus on some chopping of trees. Now for this, I'm not going to show you all that. I'm just going to start chopping trees. We're going to chop a lot of trees. Be careful when chopping trees. These things come down and they will hit you hard if you're not careful. So if you don't want to die by a tree, you want to make sure that the tree falls in a different direction or you go and move further away. Alright, I got myself 100 wood, which is not a lot. This is just going to be a good start to begin with. We want to have more wood for sure. Now what I want to focus on, I want to build myself a little pen so we can start collecting the boars we have found there near the boar stone. Now normally I look for boars that are 2-star or 1-star, but for the sake of this guide, I don't want to spend too much time waiting for that. So we're going to build ourselves a pen, and let me just build my workbench somewhere. There we go. So that we can start building our base. You always need a workbench to be able to build, in case that was not clear before. We're going to look for a low spot. I think that is pretty low here. So that when we're building, we are sure we don't have any gaps underneath the floor. Underneath the wall. I'm going to build a pen about 8 by 8. Like that. I'm just going to close it off for now. Then we're going to break this open. And on here, we're going to build 2 flaps like that. And then we're going to build 2 doors, one here and one here. And these will work or serve as a, what you call it? I don't know what you call this in English. Anyway, they will work as a place where we can get our boars in and we can close the door. Another thing I want to do is I want to build myself something that is going to allow me to get out of this pretty easy. I mean, we could jump out of it, but if you've been running, you might be running out of stamina. So I'm going to take this ladder here. I'm going to snap this in, not in the corner. We're going to snap it here. No mobs cannot climb this. So if you're having this as a building part, they cannot climb it. The only thing that might happen is the boar might push each other over it. So once you're happy with this, once you got your boars, you should remove this stairs. We're going to build another one on the other side. So it's possible for us to actually, you know what? Let's make sure that it's halfway. So what I'm going to do, we're going to put this. We're going to put the floor like that. And then we're going to put the stair against this. And the reason why we're doing that is then later on, we will be able to stand here and throw the food into the pen once we get the boars. I'm going to leave the workbench here. And that is going to kind of prevent spawning in the neighborhood. For the moment, we are okay with this. We are not killing any bosses. We are pretty okay with any attacks. If we are defeating the first boss, which is Eikthyr, then we need to really consider and think about the base of our boars because they will be killed by enemies. So, what we want to do now is we store our stuff away. Let's get our rested buff completely up. Let's see if I need to eat something. There we go. We should get like 11 or something. There we go. All right. And let's go and get the boars. There should be 3 of them near the boar stone. Let's not start running now. Let's just make sure that we have the stamina we need. So we need 2 boars. I think we saw 2 down there. They seem to be just regular boars. As I said, there doesn't seem to be any start boars. We just want to get them active and following us. Now you will see they start to chase you. And they want to try attack you. A good trick is just to walk until they attack you and then sprint away when they do that attack. Ow. We just need the other one. We're just waiting until both of the boars are running inside. There we go, there we go, there we go. Close it off and jump out. And we can now delete that stair. There we go. So they cannot get out anymore. Let's close the other door as well. Like that. And let's throw in the food. We're just going to throw in 10. Like that. And we're going to move away for the boars to calm down. There we go. One boar starts eating. Let's see if the second boar calms down now. And if that one starts eating, we are okay. You see the little hearts popping up from the top there. That means that boar is taming. And there we go. The second boar is taming as well. So now we're just going to move away. Leave these boars alone. And focus on other stuff. So I'm going to start chopping trees now while these boars are taming. This is going to take about 20 minutes. If you want to learn more about taming boars, wolves or whatever in the game, I did make a complete guide about how to tame and breed animals. And I will share that in the description as well. And let's chop some trees. Let's just focus on getting some finewood so I can then chop after that without having to think about it. So you can see here we have the birch tree right next to the beech trees. What is our aim? We want to break this birch tree by using the beech tree and falling against it and rolling against it. So I'm going to chop this one here and let's see if we can get it to fall into the direction of the birch tree. No. Okay. Might have to break the other tree as well. Oh, there we go. All right. Good. There we go. All right, that's good. So we have a tree against it. I'm going to try to break this one in half so it falls against it like this. Let's break this stump. What I want to do I want to roll this log forward and then roll it against the birch tree there. Now, we might have to break this one as well, just to avoid that blocking my tree. Okay, let's try this again. There we go. So we want this branch, this tree trunk, to roll against the birch and break it until it breaks in half. There we go. There we go. So now this birch tree is broken. We can now roll this birch tree onto the other wood there and just roll it against it. And we can just keep on rolling wood around until it breaks the birch tree in half. Alright, now that our birch tree is broken in half, we can now push this one to the other one, so it's next to each other. If this is not working, you can see I'm actually not able to push it. There are some other tricks. You can actually use a door. And it is possible to use the door to actually force this wood against it. But I just want to have it moved, and let me just do it like that. That if I push it, pushes the log a little bit further away, so I can roll it against each other. We might have to see if we can. And there we go, we got ourselves some Finewood. And this we just need to keep on doing right now. We just need to keep rolling trees against the birch to be able to get that Finewood from the birch. And that's what I'm going to be doing for the next 20-30 minutes, I think. Is going to be chopping some trees and try to get as much wood ready for, you know, whatever we want to build, whatever we want to craft. Well, we, in the meantime, my boars already have tamed, as you can see here. This boar is now green. That means that this is a tamed boar. And we just got ourselves a little piggy. That means that our boars have started breeding already. Once again, I am not going to spend too much time explaining this. You can check my guide on how to breed and tame animals that I'll link in the description. We have been chopping quite some tree. Actually, I got lucky with some Finewood as well. We got like 66 Finewood, is really great. And we have quite a lot of wood here as well. That means that we can start focusing on upgrading our tools. And let's see, we do need, let me see. By the way, I also picked up some deer hide and stuff, even deer meat, because a deer ran under a tree that I was chopping. So I'll show you in a second what we can do. Let's start with making a knife. And let's start looking and hunt for some deer. Now you can use this flint spear if you like throwable weapons. The problem is if you throw a spear, you will have to go and pick it up again. So if you lose it, you lose it. So let's drop that in here. Let's see if I can upgrade. I can upgrade my flint knife, so let's do that again. Now to build a next upgrade here, crafting, we will need 5 deer hide and 20 leather scraps. Alright, so we got some food as well. Let's eat some of our honey and our berries, and let's go and hunt. So in this case, we're going to be using our knife, and we're going to look for some deer. Now, deer, we cannot just randomly go and attack. We will have to sneak up on them. That's a deer right there. You see that there in the distance? So let's move a little bit closer. And we're going to start sneaking. You can see when we're sneaking, the stamina bar is going down. So we want to make 100% sure that we don't lose stamina while we are sneaking. Otherwise, we'll lose our sneak. And we can do the middle mouse button to do a leap attack. That is going to give us the deer hide, the meat, and all we need. Let's go and get the second one there. If your stamina drains, you just can wait, get your stamina charging up again, and then you can just attack the second deer here as well. Now, I've seen people telling that you have to make sure that you sneak up from behind and that you make sure that you are not in the wind. Things like that. As far as I've been testing and playing now for more than 1,000 hours in this game, no. Sneaking up on deer doesn't make any difference if you come from the wind, against the wind, whatever. The only thing you need to make sure of is that they don't spot you before you start sneaking. How many deer hides do we have? We have 3. We have 4. What I'm going to do for the moment, we're going to take this deer hide, we're going to put it on the floor here, and that is going to boost our resting buff, our comfort level. We're going to keep that for the moment until we have enough deer hide. We can then take it away if we need it, but for the moment we can just use it as a, you know, a backup. Our boars seem to have eaten everything. They are still breeding, so that means that's good. I'm going to throw in 4 more berries in here. That way they can keep on eating and breeding. We're going to try and find more animals to kill, and in the meantime try to stay close. Is that a... oh, sorry. Yeah, that was a deer. I thought it was a boar. Well, that was a stupid move, wasn't it? Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Let's continue our hunt. To be able to keep your boars breeding and even taming, you want to stay in a radius of about 60-65 meters. That should allow them to keep breeding, and also, if you are taming them, allow them to keep taming. As you can see, the wind is with me. The deer did not spot me at all, so wind has no effect to being spotted. There's some houses there in the distance. Ooh, that's actually a nice place. That might be a better spot actually for my home than the one I'm having right now. If we find a 2-star boar there, that's even better. So, animals and enemies can be classed by their star rating. Regular animals will only give a small amount of resources. Start animals will give you way more resources. Especially if you're starting to build yourself a breeder, then you want to make sure that you have a better quality of boar to get more resources out of them. This is a nice little place. There's a bee in here as well. There's 2 bees in here. Let's check the other building. Three bees in 1 village. Can I build a workbench? We can. Alright, let's break this down. That's 1 bee. That's another bee. I'm just going to open this door so we know that we were in here already. That's another regular boar. And another Eikthyr. That's perfect. Alright. That means I don't even need to go that far. And there is the black forest. And I can already see a pine tree there, which is going to give me access to cordwood if I need it. For the Finewood bow. As you can see, this is not showing on my map. If you want this to show up on your map, just activate that sigil there. Read. And it's going to automatically pop on your marker as well. By the way, it's also telling you what to do here. It says hunt his skin. That means we will have to offer deer heads on this altar. 2 of them will be enough. Alright, you see this little the encampments here? On the outside, you can see there is actually cordwood. And that is what we need to build the Finewood bow. So I can just take my workbench, build it here. And we can break the cordwood away. And that is going to give us the blueprints or the building recipes for building the Finewood bow. And of course, other things as well. So if you find these encampments, definitely go and check them out. Pick up the cordwood and you should be safe. So now I got 6 cordwood, which is pretty nice. I think we need 10 in total. So if you find another one of those encampments, we should be pretty well ready for building a Finewood bow. There is. I see an encampment there to the left. Perfect. That's going to give us our cordwood as well. I don't even need to go to the Black Forest for my Finewood bow. Let's build our workbench. And even we have a tree. Wow, this is great. All right. That means I got 14 cordwood, which is actually enough to build our bow and maybe upgrade it. So we'll see. time to build our bees. Miscellaneous crafting bees. How much do we have? We have 4. I think it's perfect. There we go. That's a nice collection of bees. Alright, now that we have all the reserves, we can actually start crafting this one here. We need 15 flint, which we should have. I'm gonna break you away so I can build you right there. Then I can build you in front. There we go. Workbench level 3. Finewood bow. Let's build that one. That way we skip the crude bow immediately. And believe me, it's a great improvement. So I'm just gonna craft that. Let's see if I can upgrade it. I need more core wood. So I only have 4. That means I cannot build more than that. Which is okay. We're good. Alright, this is pretty shitty weather. Let's see if we can sleep. And see if the storm passes. Now I do want to just go and see if we can get some more core wood so we can upgrade our bow. And for that we will have to go to the Black Forest, which is gonna of course help you guys out also to see how you can get core wood as well. Now I want to double check. Can I upgrade my axe? Flint axe. We need 4 leather scraps and 6 flint. I think we might have used everything. Let me just double check. I need 1 leather scrap. Now the advantage is we do have our farm out here. So let's take down one of the boars. We have quite a lot of boars, so we can definitely kill one. Now if I want to kill a boar, you should normally build yourself a butcher's knife, which I cannot do. So what you have to do is you have to enable your friendly fire. Then you use your knife like that and just kill the boar you want to get some resources from. Let's see, I got some leather scraps. Yes. Now I could kill another one so that they keep on breeding. Alright, now that we're back inside, let's just get all our scraps. Let's get our flint. And let's see, what do I need to upgrade? To upgrade my flint axe, we need 6 flint and 4 leather scraps. Oh, there we go. I got myself a raid. And that was the one I was talking about in the beginning. So let's just take these down. As I said, this is a very minimal raid because... But I should eat something just to get my health up. So this is the initial raid. This is the raid from Eikthyr. Now, this is very, very minimal, to be honest, as this is just purely delivery of food. Now, you do need to stay inside the circle that is on the map. So if you're going outside of that circle, that is going to pause the raid. Anybody else? That's it. All right, now you can see the circle is gone on the screen. I have no longer the raid and we survived it. As I said, this is a very basic raid. Compared with future raids, you will definitely want to keep that for a while. So you don't need to rush for sure. It's a 1-star deer. Let's just go and get that as well. So yeah, when I was flint axe, if we want to upgrade it again, I need to upgrade my workbench. So that means I need another upgrade, which is not available right now. So this is the maximum I can upgrade my flint axe. We could upgrade our flint knife. There we go. So these are now going to do a little bit more damage as well. I'm going to put my knife in here. I'm going to put the axe in here. The torch goes in here and you go in here. There we go. You know what we want to make as well is a shield. That might actually be a good idea now. A shield is actually one of the... Depending a bit on your style of battle and combat, but shields are definitely a good choice to go for. If you go to your shield, you can build a wooden shield like that, or a wooden tower shield. The advantage of the wooden tower shield is that it has way more block force. You can see it has 100 block force, so it will really help you survive much better. A wooden shield, it has much less, as you can see, 20. but it has a parry bonus, which allows you to stagger enemies, which is always my preferred technique and method. Now, next to your wooden shield, you will see style. If you press that, you can actually choose a color on your shield. You can go for this one. And then I need, of course, 4 leather scraps, 4 resin, and 4 wood. Let's see. Do I have that? We do have that. We need some resin as well. So let's make ourselves a wooden shield, give it a color. And let's see if we can upgrade it for a while as well. There we go. So now we have a decent protection there as well. Alright, so the goal is now to go and get some core wood. That means we're going to have to go to the Black Forest. And you remember, we actually saw Black Forest nearby. So even if I find some core wood on the way, by finding an encampment, we still will focus on getting core wood from the forest, so you can see what actually is the goal there and what are the dangers. As you can see right there, that long tree, the high tree, that is a pine tree. These are fir trees. We want to chop this pine tree. So the Black Forest is way more dangerous, so we have to keep an eye out. We don't want to rush in here. Also, we want to reduce the amount of stamina we're using, so we just walk until we are there, so we can easily run back. Now, I do see there a boar stone again. I just want to check. There's a 1-star boar. So what I can do, I can come and pick one of these boars, and I will have better quality boars to breed. Now, let me just quickly check. Oh, you see that one there? That is a Grey Dwarf. These are much harder to beat. For the moment, I don't see anybody else. There are like 3. We just stepped into the Black Forest. There are like 3 enemies in here that are going to be doing way more damage. And of course, they also have their start brothers and heavy duty brothers. So you will have to be more careful. Now, as soon as I'm going to start chopping trees, these are going to attract them. Now, the good thing is I did upgrade my knife, so we should be pretty okay. As you can see, nobody is around for the moment until I start chopping trees. Ooh, I like that. That tree just fell on my enemy. Just keep an eye out. There's another one coming. You see, there's come from the other side now. They really hate the sound of chopping wood and mining. But here we go. I just picked up some core wood. Let's see if we can... Having a good upgraded knife is really a good decision here. Alright, let's get the axe out again and chop the other one. And pick it all up. And we should have enough to upgrade our Finewood bow now. No need to be here any longer. So we know there's a 1-star boar right here next to the village and the Black Forest. We have 16 core wood. We are more than enough prepared for upgrading our Finewood bow. So let's go back home and let's get this over and done with. Now we have the core wood and the Finewood. We should be able to upgrade our Finewood bow. I have to check, we might need something else. We need 2 deer hides, so let's take these. And let's upgrade our Finewood bow. So now this is level 2. I can upgrade this again because I do have enough. So I'm going to upgrade my Finewood bow again. And now if I want to upgrade this again, I will need more core wood, but I also need a better tool here. Now, I might still go and hunt for some deer hide. Although we could break this. How much do we need for leather pants and 6? We need 12. We had 7 plus 4 is 11. So we need to go and hunt some more deer. Now what I want to... I'm going to make some wooden arrows because that's enough to kill a deer. So let's take this. Let's make some simple wood arrows. These are enough to kill deer, to hunt birds, things like that. So let's see if we can hunt some more deer. There were some there, and this time we can actually use our bow. Another thing you want to see is during the night or during storms, birds will start landing on the ground, especially along the coast. So it's easy to hunt them when they are here on the ground. Birds will give you feathers, which will allow you to build arrows. Alright, so now that we have all this deer hide, that's 10, and I break this, that should give me enough to create a leather tunic and a leather pants. So we're going to craft one of these. We're going to craft one of these. And if I'm going to wear that now, you will see that my armor is going to go up. There we go, level 4 armor. So that means we can put this away. There's nothing I can build anymore for the moment. I need way more. If I want to make a leather helmet, I still need 6. If I need a deer cape, we need 4. So nothing I can use for that. So I'm going to put the deer hide in here. All right, now we're going to make arrows. We're going to make fire arrows. We're going to take the feathers. We're going to take the resin. And we're going to take some wood. And that is going to allow us to make fire arrows right here. This takes 8, 8, 2. That means we have a bit of fire arrows we can create. The advantage of fire arrows is that they do damage over time. And we got the knife, we got the shield, we got the bow. So the only thing we need right now is 2 deer trophies so we can summon the boss. Let's put them in slot 7 and it's time to go and beat Eikthyr. What we're going to do, we're going to clean up the area a little bit. We don't want to have any disturbances or distractions. So we're going to start with killing the boars. The deers are not a danger, but the boars can just be an annoyance while you're trying to beat Eikthyr. There's 3 deer. I should actually just take advantage of this. Alright, now that everybody is gone and we have peace and quiet, it's time to call on Eikthyr, the boss. Before we hit that altar, let's make sure we have eaten, get full stamina, get full health. To be honest, it would be great if I had like a little bit of a resting place, but we should be okay. Let's also make sure that we have our deer heads ready and it's time to summon it in. So I just point at the altar, I press the button to offer the item. Sparkles are going to come out of it, and the sparkles are going to go in a certain direction, which is going to point where Eikthyr is going to spawn in. Now he's going to do several attacks. If you stay far away from him and just shoot him with your fire arrows, you can see you can actually do a lot of damage, and there is also damage over time. And use the stone, the altar, as kind of a barrier, as a buffer between you and Eikthyr. Stamina drain is terrible when this when you need it. Oops. Come on. There we go. Finally. Alright, so now you can see it drops down some items. Heart Antler and of course the trophy. If I pick this up, you can see now that I'm gonna be allowed to craft myself a pickaxe. And the only thing remaining now is hanging up Eikthyrs trophy. That is gonna allow you to take its power. So we have the trophy here, sacrificial stone. This is Eikthyr. You just attach item. You can see this gives you minus 60% on jump and run stamina. Activate the power. And now you're gonna see it's gonna pop up there on the bottom right corner of the screen, Eikthyr. And if we enable that power, it's gonna boost our stamina for about 5 minutes, if I remember correctly. But we can try it. So let's just press the F button for Forsaken. There we go. And I got 5 minutes of Eikthyr power now to run back home. And if you combine this with the rested bonus and all that, that's really gonna help you to use the stamina efficiently. Heh. Home sweet home. So, let's have a good night's sleep. We deserve it. And then we'll build our pickaxe. And that is going to be the end of this episode. Now that we have the antler, we can now make ourselves an antler pickaxe. You will have 3 antlers. There is no other use than making antler pickaxes. So make all 3 of them. Now I might have to put some stuff away just to be able to get some space. So let's make the other pickaxe. 1, 2, and 3. This is going to allow you to keep on mining. If one breaks, you can go to the next one, to the next one. This is going to lengthen your process much longer to be able to go and mine. That also means that the pickaxe now can be used for mining stone or even mining terrain. So this is a very handy tool for the future. Now, from this moment on, you will get heavier rate as well. This means that if you get Grey Dwarfs, Grey Dwarf Shamans and all that, they will kill your boars, especially the Shaman will go through the wall and kill whatever is behind that wall. So it is time to think about improvements as quickly as possible. Normally, the smart thing is to prepare for that before you go and kill Eikthyr. And that, my fellow Vikings, brings us to the end of this beginner's playthrough. If you enjoyed this guide and found it helpful, please consider showing your support with a like. It helps a lot more than you might think. And of course, if you have any questions or tips from your own Valheim adventures, don't hesitate to share them in the comments below. This was Beeblebum. Goodbye for now.